Okay, so a lot of you like the other talkthroughs and were asking for something a bit longer. Uh, so I'm just going to throw out a bunch of games that I streamed the other day that I have the file for, and I'll just make a bunch all at once. So here I'm playing with Igno and Rodriguez. I haven't played that much with them, so I'm just getting a feel for how they play. So this is one of the earlier games of the day. It's an RMP mirror against a team that's about 2750, 2800 on Cyclone. So they're pretty high, but nothing special. Now, once again, our main strat is going on the mage and CCing the priest as much as possible, but we end up winning by doing something completely different, as you'll see. We spawned on Dalaran Arena, which is pretty good for RMP mirrors. Rushing in straight away to avoid sap, and the mage will go invis right before he thinks their rogue is going to sap him. It's quite important that he gets the invis off, since then he can do a shatter out of invis. It gives you a big advantage at the start of the game. The priest rushes in and we start having a little dispel battle, so I penance myself to get some grey stacks up to make it harder for him to dispel me, and then I pop in a focus to get immune to the spell and get a fear on him. Now it's my mage's turn to CC the priest before he gets the fear ward off me, so he deep sheeps him. Now my main goal in RMP mirror as priest is to keep my rogue dispelled as much as possible, to get fears on the priest on cooldown, and to keep my mage topped while avoiding as much CC as possible. If I do all this well, it will mean we get more pressure on them than they do on us, because we'll get more CC on the priest and the mage is going to use more blocks, which as you can see now, he's just used the first off. Now the second master spell here is quite interesting. The reason I do this is because my rogue is out of loss with a single debuff on him, which is Nova. I'm also in a Nova, so if I want to dispel the rogue, I'm going to have to dispel myself and then dispel him, which will take longer than just master spelling. We're just sparring a bit here, trying to maintain as much pressure as we can, while I just try and avoid CC so we can stay on the offensive. Nothing interesting is really happening right now. Mage and the rogue are just sparring, and since the pillar's down in the middle, they're not really getting any CC out on me. We're not getting any CC out on them either. As a side note, whenever I get deep freezed, I just instantly call it out on Skype, so either my mage or rogue can just stop the mage from polying. Rogue gets a random re-stealth here, but I managed to get him out of Holy Nova, and then you'll see me occasionally casting Death on him. That's just at times when I think he could blind me. As you see, a lot of the time it doesn't actually happen. It's not worth doing though if you're really pressed for globals, unless you're absolutely sure that he's going to do it. I'm just going for the pre-MD, but I actually happen to be a bit quick on this one. But the second one gets it off pretty quick anyway. As you can see, I'm really focusing on getting quick dispels in on the rogue, so you can get maximum uptime on their mage. Goes for anything really. The main thing is Nova, but also Fear, Sheep, Deep Freeze if he gets it. It's actually a mistake on my part here going for the Holy Fire. I should have gone for the Mind Blast, but I forgot to put my CS timer on for this clip. I'm just going to quickly pause it to go over something I think is quite important that not a lot of people are doing. And what happens is I'm running in for a Fear. He's got Fear, I've got Fear. A lot of people don't really know what to do, and a lot of the time it's luck who gets feared, both get feared. Obviously the best outcome is you getting a fear on him without getting feared yourself. And to ensure that happens more often, you can do a couple of things. You've got your fear ward, so you can try and fear ward his fear, but you need to be aware that he's going to be trying to fear ward your fear too if it's up. Secondly, you can duke his positioning. I'm sure a lot of you know that there's position lag, which is basically you appear on your screen at a different place to where you appear on their screen. Now, you'll get feared based on where you are in the arena server, so it's like kind of an intermediate between where he sees you and where you see you. That's why sometimes you get CC'd out of loss, you get feared out of range, all that jazz. So here I run in for a fear, and I do a little walk back for the reasons just stated. He doesn't fall for it, so I pop fear ward, and then I fear him. You'll notice that most of the game I'm staying near to a pillar, and although I can def polys in the open, it's a lot more safer to be at the pillar, just in case, he fakes it, or like I just got CS, he could CS poly me, and I wouldn't be able to loss it if I wasn't at the pillar. In general, it's just a lot safer in terms of avoiding CC. Now you'll see here that I'm casting Mana Burn. I do this a lot, primarily on the mage in RMP mirrors, since if you're on the mage and you get a meme, you can't ever. It pretty much helps late game quite a lot, since when both teams don't have any cooldowns, it can get to be a stalemate for a while. If the other mage is Zoom, then you can get a free win here. Now I've talked before about how we play, and there's two things to consider, which is general game plan, which for RMP Mirror is CCing the priest and going on the mage, and then there's adapting to what's happening in the game. There could be a thing that you can do which normally isn't better, but because of something else that's happened, it now is. So let's take a look at our situation. The mage has used 2 blocks, probably has a third coming up in 2 minutes or so, I'd say. The rogue is extending quite far forward. That now means that the rogue is a better nuke target than the mage. So I grip our rogue back, and he dances him in deep freeze. We all nuke him down, and he doesn't even get out of it in the end to cloak.